Where was the summer? Fall and winter came too fast. Somehow I made it, I'm wide awake, it's spring at last. If I could only bring them back, they'd still be moments from the past. It's simply beautiful to walk with open hands. Nothing to hide, nothing to grasp, nothing to break, nothing to last. Every death brings a new life. Every road, every mile. Take off your shoes, don't mind the rules. You're free to be starry-eyed and innocent if you choose. You're finally home. I buried my father, so and my mother all too soon. I suffered in silence, suffered alone until June. It wasn't clear, it wasn't right. I'd hear him tell her in the night, but somewhere in the dark they huddled near a light, with nothing to fight, nothing to stress, nothing to climb, nothing to pass. Every death brings a new life. Every road, every mile. Take off your shoes, don't mind the rules. You're free to be starry-eyed and innocent if you choose. You're finally home. Some seasons let us be reborn. These deep dark places where we're torn. And when they tell you that your rose still has its thorns, you've nothing to hide, nothing to test. Love brought you here, now you can rest. Every death brings a new life. Every road, every mile. Take off your shoes, don't mind the rules. You're free to be starry-eyed and innocent if you choose.
perfectly clear. I am the answer. Oh, I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer. I am the answer. I used to fight between wrong and right, watching my fears taking over my life. But now I know why I'm here. It's perfectly clear. I am the answer. Oh, I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer. I am the answer. Everybody now, I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit. I am the spirit. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer. Here we go now. I am the light. I am the love. I am the spirit. I am the spirit. I am the peace that's healing the world. I am the answer. I am the answer. Yeah. I am the answer. I'm the answer. I am the answer. I am the answer. Be the answer. I am the answer. Me. Haunted by the times you made me cry, feeling not quite good enough, not understanding why. I blamed you for the hell that I was in, then I burned through my resentment till I could love again. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. When you did those things that hurt so much, you didn't have a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. I still have an angry thought or two don't do well with those that try to tell me what to do. But I still try to turn the other cheek. Watch me walk away, you'll know exactly what I mean. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. When they do those things that hurt so much, they haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. The more you give away, the more you have. Everyone's a mirror of some part of you. It could be anger, it could be love. Why not choose love? Haunted by the times I made you cry. I showed you the worst in me, not understanding why. But we can heal together perfectly. For love to grow between us, there's one thing that I need. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. When I do those things that hurt so much, I haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. Please forgive me. I forgive you.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, yeah.
Hello, and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community, and we believe there are many paths to one divinity. We have an amazing group of 10 different faith speakers and 7 different musicians. If you know any musicians groups that would like to join this endeavor, have them contact us. But at the beginning of each 10-week series, we give them a 1 or 2 word topic, and each speaker takes their week and sends us a video on that topic, and the musicians follow suit with a couple of songs, and we send it all to Philip and his tech team, and they put it together and create what you are watching now. So if you would like to become part of this endeavor that is changing the world, I'm sure of it, go to www.peopleofdiversity.org and press that donate button. We pay our speakers, we pay our musicians, and we pay the Philip and his team to make this happen every week. So we really appreciate all of the donations that we get.
So the topic is worship. That's it. That's all we give them. Last week we had our Muslim representative, Naran Sykes. She was coupled with Kristen Hope Justice. Today we have Rabbi Pat Hickman with Brother Keith Leon. And next week, our founder, many, many, many years and decades and moons ago, Reverend Sue Bailey, will be coupled with our buddy from the Great White North, Victor Morgado, and that will be a fun service. You can pick up past services and get notifications on Sunday morning if you join the pod page or the pod group. You can see all the old videos, you can look in the lives or in the archive videos and have access to all that stuff. And you can also go to our YouTube page and pick up all of the videos as well. And there we have them categorized in playlists so that you can search under topic or faith. We have a deep dive from 11:45 to 12:15 every Sunday after the morning service. It's on Zoom. Please join us. The link is in the post. We have a second broadcast at 5:45 every Sunday. That's what we pin to the top of the page so that you can go back during the week and check it out. I think that's all I know.
Okay. Each week we bless a country. So if you have any stories, pictures, thoughts, ideas, rumors, whatever, about the country we'll be blessing next week, send them to the email address below and we'll use them in our country blessing. Next week is Liechtenstein.
I have rumors about Liechtenstein.
You do?
Yes.
Send them to the email address below.
Okay.
This week we are blessing Libya. Libya is located on the coast of North Africa, and it is bordered to the north by the Mediterranean Sea. It is slightly larger than Alaska and has 7.1 million people.
Oi.
Yeah. Libya is 97% Muslim and 3% Christian. It is home to the Sahara, and 90% of Libya is desert. Most people, 90% of the people, live along the Mediterranean coast, not in the desert. However, there are people that live in the desert, the Bedouins. They are nomadic and move between the desert oases with their livestock. So they just go from place to place. Interesting lifestyle for sure. The hottest temperature ever recorded on the Earth's surface was in Libya, 136 degrees Fahrenheit in 1922. It's crazy.
No, thank you.
Yeah. 75% of their food is imported. Imagine that. It is impossible to farm there. Even in the places along the coast, the soil is just not fertile enough to support agriculture. So most of their food is imported. More than half of the population has internet access, and there are 3.5 million Facebook accounts. That's funny. So more than half the people actually are on Facebook. I wouldn't have thought of that actually. So, and this is a really interesting, cool thing. All citizens, every single person, has access to doctors, hospitals, clinics, and medicine for free. Totally free healthcare. So, interesting place. I think everybody's probably heard of Libya. I didn't really know that much about it.
Very rich history.
Yeah. I didn't even get into a whole lot of that. So, we want to hold the people of Libya in our hearts, knowing they want the same things in their lives that we want in ours. They want peace. They want abundance. They want their families to be safe. So let's hold them in our hearts, send them our love, and say these words together. May peace prevail in Libya. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me.
And next we'll have Keith Leon coming to us probably from his rig somewhere, I think out west is where I've been tracking them. And our talk today is Rabbi Pat Hickman, and she will be sharing with us on the topic of worship. Without further ado, we'll see you on the other side.
All right. So a long time ago, it seems like a lifetime ago, I did a spiritual course. And I really started to realize something about this thing that people were calling God, Spirit, Universe. And this is what came forth. This song, which many of you who have been around have heard a bazillion times, but if you're brand new, this is for you. Every time I see a sunset or a bird take a flight, I thank my spirit for the next breath, 'cause I know everything's alright. I used to feel so empty, wasn't sure of anything at all. Thought I was disconnected, but I never even picked up the phone to call. God showed me who I am, and a brand new way to be. Ha! Ever since I found this out, it's so good to be me, 'cause it's a God thing. Every day of my life, it's a God thing, every day of my life. But I don't waste my time thinking about the future, that's right. And I forgave myself for the past. When I stepped into this moment, I found myself at last. God showed me who I really am, and how awesome life can be. Ever since I found the sweet, sweet spirit, it's so good to be me. Yeah, 'cause it's a God thing. Every day of my life, it's a God thing. Every day of my life. is my dear friend Katie, and last night we sang together for the first time, and we're going to share what happened last night with you today. Here we go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious is that grace I hear, the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Everybody sing with us. Amazing grace, that's right. How sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see. I was so blind, but now I see. Amazing grace.
Meir was a good boy. He always listened to his parents and helped out around the house. But no matter how hard he tried, he wasn't able to speak. Instead of going to school, Meir tended his father's cows. Every morning, he led them into the meadow, and then he'd take out his flute and play the most beautiful melodies. When he put his flute away, the cows knew it was time to go home. Meir was 13 when his father took him to the great rabbi Baal Shem Tov on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, the holiest day of the year for the Jewish people. Maybe the presence of such a great rabbi will do Meir some good, his father thought. For a while, it even seemed to work. Meir was excited to be in the same place as the Baal Shem Tov, the same synagogue. But he was also very sad that he didn't know how to pray. As the long service came to an end, Meir had an idea. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out his flute and began to play. This is how even I can pray, he thought proudly. Well, no one agreed, though. In fact, the entire congregation was outraged. How dare this boy disturb their prayers? They jumped up from their seats to throw him and his father out of the synagogue. Even the Baal Shem Tov rushed toward them. The Baal Shem Tov looked at Meir and hugged him. Thank you, he said. All Yom Kippur, I wondered whether our prayers would be answered. We said all the words, but we lacked the passion. Then I heard your flute, so simple and sincere, and I know our prayers will be answered. The Baal Shem Tov turned to the congregation and said, I see you've risen to thank the boy. After all, his flute opened the gates of heaven to our prayers. Shalom, dear friends. How lovely it is to be with you again and to explore the question of Jewish worship. I started our exploration with this sweet, poignant story that is an excellent example of the two different ways that Jews worship, through prayers that are written down in our prayer books and the prayers that come from our heart. In Jewish prayer, we have both keva, which means a fixed order of prayers, and kavanah, which is the intention, the emotion with which we address these prayers. Keva and kavanah can help us to understand what Jewish worship is. Besides keva and kavanah, we also can look at the prayers one says in the synagogue, and the prayers one says all through the day to always make God's presence known. Jews pray 3 times a day, and we are even told that one is supposed to say at least 100 blessings every day. Well, how can we do that? How can we find 100 blessings to say every day? Well, by doing this, we become really immersed in God, always feeling the connection to God's source. There is a blessing for everything, therefore, everything under the universe. If you see a rainbow, there's a blessing. If you go to the ocean, you say a blessing. If you wash your hands, there's a blessing. Even using the bathroom has a blessing of gratitude that all your parts are working. The formal prayers grow from the relationship with God and express praise, praying for things, and thanksgiving, as well as forgiveness, grief, and sickness. But we can find a prayer or blessing to help us to respond to the inherent holiness found in every single moment of life. Jewish worship today is very, very different from what it was in ancient days. The book of Leviticus describes an elaborate system of sacrifices of animals and agriculture that were to be brought to the temple. The finest fruits, the finest grains, the finest members of our flocks and our herds. In English, the word sacrifice means to give up something in order to achieve or get something better. And the worshiper who approached the temple with the first fruits of his harvest or the unblemished lamb hoped to gain something of more value, and that something would be God's favor or forgiveness or a blessing. Now, this was the norm for the day. All other faith communities in ancient times had some form of sacrifice. Often, they would sacrifice human beings. But in Hebrew, the word sacrifice has a deeper, more important meaning. The Hebrew word for sacrifice is korban, which means to bring close. The offering was intended to bring the worshiper into a close, intimate relationship with God. It should be noted as well that the priests of the day did not own any land like the people of the other tribes did. Other than the fully burnt offering the meat of all the other sacrifices was eaten as a meal, either by the priests or by those who brought the sacrifices. Well, it's really hard for us to visualize this. Although if I try to visualize it, I think of a barbecue where the animal is on the barbecue and the smoke that rises is a sweet smell and it rises up to heaven. And I can imagine the people in those days feeling that their offering was really being sent up to heaven to God. But still, that could be a rationalization because it really is hard to imagine it. But you know, today, the food that often feeds us, that food is treated very often in a grossly inhumane way. Even our fruits and veggies are sprayed with poisons that can poison us. It would behoove us to take a closer look at that. We think of ourselves as so civilized, but sometimes I wonder. That is why I eat only organic foods. I call it eco-kashrut, but that's a topic for another time and another day. Back to the ancient temple. Okay, so besides the ritual sacrifices, there was a choir of Levites and an orchestra and dancing, as well as accompanying all of the festival celebrations with great joy and frivolity and fun. Let's take a peek at how the holiday of Sukkot, a harvest festival, was celebrated thousands of years ago in Jerusalem. So we are told in the Talmud by the ancient rabbis that at the conclusion of the first festival day of Sukkot, the priests and Levites descended to the court of the women, where they made a great enactment, like a play. There were golden candlesticks with 4 golden bowls on top of each of them, and 4 ladders to each, and 4 youths drawn from the priestly stock, in whose hands were held jars of oil. There was not a courtyard in Jerusalem that was not illuminated by light. Men of piety and good deeds used to dance before them with lighted torches in their hands and sing songs of praise. And Levites without number, with harps and lyres and cymbals and trumpets and other musical instruments, were there upon the 15 steps that led down from the court of the Israelites to the court of the women, corresponding to the 15 songs of ascents in the book of Psalms. They stood on these steps and sang their songs. And when early morning came, 2 priests with shofars in their hands sounded out, Tekiah, Teruah, Tekiah. And it tells us in the Talmud that Rabban Simeon ben Gamliel, the head of the Sanhedrin, that was a great court of law, he let loose with quite a performance of acrobatics during Sukkot. So the ancient temple was a place where the Israelites could worship, could gather, to come closer to God, and to celebrate together in community the many holy days as outlined in the Torah, most specifically in the book of Exodus and Leviticus. Well, today we still celebrate, of course, all of our holidays and festivals, but instead of bringing sacrifices, we bring our hearts, we bring our prayers. When the Holy Temple was destroyed and the Jewish people were sent into exile, the biblically mandated worship of God ended, and it created a terrible spiritual crisis. Under the leadership of Rabbi Gamliel, in the last decades of the 1st century, a decree was sent out to all the Jews who had escaped to other lands and were part of the diaspora, that instead of priestly sacrificial worship in Jerusalem, now every Jew everywhere was responsible for daily verbal prayers. sages of his academy organized a prayer of 18 blessings, known then as the prayer, HaTefilah, to be recited at every weekday service with shorter versions for the holy days. These 18 blessings included praise for our ancestors and for the strength of God and God's holiness, and then began a whole series of petitions to God, asking God for knowledge, praying for repentance and forgiveness, deliverance and healing, a blessing for the year, a prayer to gather the exiles and bring them back to the land of Israel, a plea for justice, a prayer for those who sinned, and a prayer for the righteous, a prayer for mercy for Jerusalem, and a prayer that our prayers would be accepted, and a prayer of thanksgiving and gratitude and peace. On Shabbat, we're not really supposed to be asking God for anything. So some of those prayers were cut out and the tefillah was made shorter. We simply praise and express our gratitude to God and thank God for all the blessings that are in our lives. As rabbinic influence grew, more prayers were added to our worship services, most especially what is probably the closest thing to a doxology in Judaism. It's called the Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. So today, no matter where you go to worship, if you go to a Reform or Conservative or Orthodox synagogue, there are certain prayers that you will always hear. You will always hear the Shema and the prayers of the Tefillah. You will also always hear a praise of God that is used to break up the sections of a service. On Shabbat, we also sing many psalms and always prayers for healing and for remembering our loved ones who have passed. The Torah is read from as well, of course, every week. Actually, it's read on Monday, Thursday, and Shabbat. Monday and Thursday were market days in ancient Jerusalem before the temple was even built. And Ezra, the scribe, would gather everyone from the marketplace to read from the Torah and teach them what the laws and what God was telling them. So that ancient custom continued on up to today. So we read from Torah on Monday and Thursday, and then on Shabbat. So before you go to Costco, you could head over to listen to Ezra and hear a little bit of Torah. We also would hear another section from another part of our Hebrew Bible, the prophets, and often on holidays there would be one of the books of the writings were also read, like the book of Esther, or the book of Lamentations, or the book of Ecclesiastes. So all of these special, wonderful parts of our Hebrew Bible were read all throughout the year at different times. These have all become part of our worship over the centuries. And I think it's amazing to see the connections we have to the ancient form of worship today. People back then and now still want and long for the same things. We long for peace, abundance, health, and understanding. Although the methods used to approach God may be different today, it is still the same God that we pray to. That God of the desert, Yud-He-Vav-He, the mysterious name that we really don't know how to pronounce. I think of it as the always beginning and never ending one. The God who listens to all forms of prayer, from the humble melody of the little boy with the flute to the prayers of a great King David or King Solomon, to the prayers of a people who have never given up, who have grown through all the centuries, still worshiping the Holy One of all blessings in temples scattered throughout our world, worshiping and praying with the longings of our hearts. Amen.
Thank you, Keith. It's always great to have you, and we so appreciate you. It's getting to be summer down here, and I'm afraid that means you're heading back north, and we didn't get to see you much. So at least you're on video. Thank you. And Rabbi Pat, you always are so entertaining, informative. Just everything that you do is just awesome for us. Thank you so much, and we love you. Philip. In Diego team. Thank you all so much for everything that you do, putting this together. I know we send you a lot of crazy stuff sometimes, and you just always manage to get it together and make it seamless. So if you are out there in the world and you have needs in this realm, virtual or live, contact Philip at the address below, and he will fix you up. Following this morning service from 11:45 to 12:15, we'll do our live Zoom deep dive. That's always fun. Get to see each other, talk about the message. If we have questions, if sometimes the speaker's there, sometimes they're not, but we always have good conversation. And so join us for that. And then Sunday evening at 5:45, we rebroadcast the service. It's a good time to go back and watch it again, or send someone back to watch it, and that will be pinned to the top of the Facebook page. Don't forget about our YouTube channel. It's People of Diversity YouTube channel. That's really a great resource. And then next week will be our sister, Reverend Sue Bailey, and her musical guest will be Victor Morgado.
Yay. All right, so you can join us in your donation, tithe, whatever word you want to use, at www.peopleofdiversity.org. And let's just take a moment now and say some words about gratitude for that. Thank you, Spirit, for the opportunity to be a part of this community. To invest our time and our energy and our treasure into it, and be a part of what comes out. Thank you to all who join us and who participate, and we say together, Amen.
Amen.
So don't click off just yet, because the most important part of the service is right now. If you'll bring to your mind's eye anyone in your world who needs support, help, guidance, and put them in the middle of an energetic circle, and join them there, and open yourselves up and open ourselves up to this energetic, and listen to this last song, and just spread love out to everybody, and let's wrap in there all these people in the world who are making really important decisions about how other people's lives are going to be affected. So have an amazing day, an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love.